Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for Ozark Season 4 Part 2. Obviously, if you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to the trailer in the description down below. I haven't decided whether this is going to be a trailer discussion or thoughts and theories. I kind of figured that afterwards, just seeing how the video ends up flowing out. But just a lot of really interesting things. Obviously, immediately picking up, after, Ruth found Darlene, which that's not too much of a loss. She had a love-hate relationship with Darlene and everything, but obviously the biggest thing to her is losing Wyatt, and that ends up being a focal point from what Marty's saying, that it's like her entire family is dead. She's lost so much because of us. Ever since she met us, it's like, doesn't the amount of blood on her hands ever get to you, Wendy? And that's, to me, that flows really nicely with like how the trailer ends, where Wendy's basically, Wendy's saying that this is the life that he kind of got them stuck in, and he's like, no, we put ourselves here, and she's like, you're quite the salesman, which I'm like, that's kind of BS. That's not fair, Wendy. In the grand scheme of things, yes, this is all Marty's fault. Marty started all this by laundering money for a cartel in the first place. So yes, there's that, but it's almost like trying to remove your part to play in it. You've done a lot of stuff. I mean, Marty was trying to get out at the very least in season 2, and you like twisted that around because she got seduced and all this, but the argument could be, right, we wouldn't even be here in the first place if it wasn't for Marty, and he's the one that created the sales pitch to move to the Ozarks and everything. So it was his quick thinking. I mean, it let them live. It's why their family's still alive, why he's still alive. But he has to also recognize that this is all on him, and maybe that's why he feels extra guilty, because so much blood is on their hands. It's not even just Ruth's family. So much death has followed the Bird family because of the decisions that they've made. Just so much terrible stuff has happened. So it is going to wear on you, especially when it comes to Ruth, because she was like family to them. And yeah, they had their beef, like, it's, on and off, they had their issues. Obviously, last season, during the first half of this season, they were at odds, but Marty doesn't want anything bad to happen to her. He really does care about her. He is the one who did get her mixed up in this. Granted, the Langmores, they were already doing their own lane regardless, but they were comfortable in their own lane. Marty came in and kind of put them in a deeper, darker position, and Ruth already had to grow up super fast regardless of her family, because of her family circumstances before, even more so now, trying to look after Wyatt, trying to look after 3. That's the only family she has left now because of everything, and that's on the Bird family. So it's not just probably Javi that she's probably going to end up killing. The argument now is like, right, is she going to come from Marty and Wendy because this is on them? Like, if they had done things differently, if it wasn't for them and all, then maybe a lot of her family would still be alive. She wouldn't be feeling the way she is right now. To the point, I can almost see Ruth leaving 3 alone completely, because it's like, if I'm anywhere in your life with all of this, especially if she kills Javi, it's going to bring down a world of hurt on 3, and he's the last family she's got. So she's probably going to try and find some distant relatives or somebody for 3 to stay with. It's like, you can't be around me. And 3 probably would want to stick around her because, like, right, we're the only family we have left. I could definitely see something like that transpiring. At one point, we do see Ruth shooting Javi in broad daylight, because it's like, right, we can't let Javi die because he's the linchpin to all of this, because they brought him into the fold with the FBI's deal and everything. So they need him alive to keep everything in order. And I love that line from Ruth, like, really, you say that protecting your family is your main motivation, but is that even true? It's like, is it even about protecting your family? I'm sure the argument probably is like, are you sure it's not just about protecting yourself and you're just using your family as an excuse? Or is it just because you needed an excuse to do this bad stuff because you enjoyed trying to be the smartest person in the room, feeling like you were, that you're able to outwit everyone and maneuver, and that you enjoy this like game that you've created in a weird way? Like, I wonder, would that be kind of Ruth's perspective on it? I'm wondering if her shooting Javi really happened, but I get the feeling that could easily be like a dream sequence, or at least her fantasizing about it, trying to think about how she's going to do it. But because she's in a mode right now, because where we left off, she was just trying to find him, because it's like, I'm so upset. We see her even tearing down the trailers, so I think she's just like, she's burning everything to the ground. The trailer because it's like, there's no point of staying behind it, so she's probably uprooting her life and just what that all flows into, why she's just destroying it, because I guess there's like no reason to stay in the Ozarks anymore. There's nothing, once again, I think she is going to just ship 3 off and leave him with someone else, because it's like, right, there's no guarantee that, not unless she ends up selling that property and trying to make sure that 3 gets some of that money to go live his life and do whatever he wants to, just like she wanted Wyatt to go off and go to school or something, but things played out the way they did. Wendy does have that line that, it's like, right, you're always trying to put other people first. You're always trying to play the role of the good guy. Like, why can't you just always put your family first? And I think that's a very, like, it's a weird thing to hear come from, like, Wendy, considering giving a go-ahead to the whole Ben thing. So that kind of puts a little sour taste in your mouth, which I'm sure that's going to still flow into continuing Ruth's story in this back half of the season as well. And I think the argument could be like, oh, like, you still want to believe yourself to be some kind of good guy, that you're not that bad, Marty, but in fact, you might just be the worst of them all. Marty is going to try and get, because obviously he's got to deal with the Maya thing, because Maya's no longer on his side, because it's like, oh no, at the end of the day, there's nothing between us anymore. There's no partnership, no, like, you've manipulated me and I'm done. I've decided to make my choice, and I am going to take you down, because you're just like any other criminal, so watch it. I'm coming for you. And obviously there's the other detective. Well, I said detective, but a private investigator, the whole Mel thing, because obviously him and Maya are definitely going to be working together. We even see him at one point in the trailer kind of putting down something, I guess, kind of some damning evidence in front of Marty at one point in time, I think. So those are going to be some complications. But Marty, I guess, trying to alleviate some of this situation, especially because they're kind of not on the best of terms with Navarro right now. So Marty's like, oh, I'm going to go down to Mexico and I'm going to, like, culminate everything in your absence. And we do see someone getting tortured later on, and I think that's Javi. They're probably going to end up backstabbing Javi, and it's like, right, Javi is actually selling you guys out to the FBI and stuff for a cushy deal. So either to kind of make things better for Navarro so he can come, I don't know, because he still wants out, so I don't know, because that's going to screw up everything with the FBI. So I'm curious, like, how that works and how that's going to work in the long run. I guess in the long run, as long as, like, the FBI doesn't know that Marty and them potentially sold Javi out, then it won't be any fallback or backlash on them. We'll have to wait and see. But you also have to have, we see a little bit of them in this trailer too, is Jonah and Charlotte. They made their deals that no matter what happens to their parents, it's going to be them, which we also have the car accident thing we got at the very beginning of the season. It's in this part of the this trailer as well. So eventually we're going to get to that point, and what's going to be aftermath of that. Like, is someone going to not survive the crash? Are they all going to survive? And does that hamper in any shape or form what they had set up or something? But Charlotte and Jonah are going to be helping out, I'm sure, but I think more so than anything, they're solidifying their own positions, because it's like, right, there's no guarantee. The way their mom was so flip-floppy towards Jonah, and how easily she could be so flip-floppy towards Charlotte, that it's like, right, we're in this together no matter what happens to mom and dad. I would never do what mom did to Ben to you. It would never happen. So they're, I'm sure, going to come up with their own plans on what to do, in case everything ever goes sideways with their parents. Once again, whether that ends up with them. I feel like Marty and Wendy are more likely to end up dead at the end of this rather than in jail. You never know. Not unless they do a Sopranos and cut to black, but I don't see that. I feel like things are going to be pretty definitive when this ends. The question is how. I actually just looked it up too. I was under the impression this was going to be 16 episodes. I think they originally pitched it like that, because I forgot, like, the first half ends on episode 7, so I thought maybe the back half was going to be a little long. It's like, no, it's only 14 episodes, so that's at least what I was looking at on IMDb. So I thought it was going to be, I thought the season was going to be 16 episodes. It's not, but regardless, tangent aside. You had that temporary sheriff who was still around, who was kind of sniffing around a little bit, especially because of the whole male, sniffing around as well. So I'm curious, is there going to be some collaboration in that front, that, she's not going to be as easily as willing to look away as her predecessor was, especially now that the Snells are no longer a thing with Darlene being gone. So she wasn't really big on Darlene anyway, so she was just going to do her job. She's really just waiting for her replacement to step in, but not unless her replacement does step in. But till then, this might be her problems she has to particularly deal with, and she seems like she's very straight in her own, like, oh, I'm gonna get this done. So we'll see how that plays out. But also the Frank Jr. of it all. Obviously, him and Ruth are in a better place now, and it's like, yeah, Javi did him a favor by killing Darlene, so it worked out because, like, right, you killed him. She killed my dad, so she got her just dessert. But he doesn't want Ruth hurt the way she was. It's like, oh, your cousin didn't have to die as well, so maybe he's going to be there to help her. But granted, I mean, that's going to be the complicated thing. Like, will he back her up during all this? He might, just because it's like, right, you know, we both lost people we care about mixed up in all of this, so I'll help you out because I do care about you. Because it all falls down to him, because the business and operations is potentially his now. So he would have potentially the power and everything to back her up, but this would mean going toe-to-toe with the cartel, and that's probably a big no-no. That's a route he probably doesn't want to go down. So maybe it might even correlate with the people that... Was it money or drugs that Ruth got back from, like... I think it was the money that... No, it was the drugs or whatever that Ruth ended up getting back from those guys that Frank Jr. sold it to. Like, not unless we bring them back into the fold and kind of make some deals with them or something. I don't know. Obviously, these are just some of the things going through my mind. I'd love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think? What are some things you expect to see from this these final episodes? What are some things you want to see from the final episodes? How do you think this is all going to end? Let me know your thoughts. Are you just as excited as I am? And once again, I'm always sad to see something end, especially with a show like this where things could have an uber depressing ending. I'm a little scared to see it come to an end, but I'm also so excited to see how it all plays out, see how it all ends. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.